What's up, everybody? It's me, Emmanuel E-Man Noisette, and we are back to talk about Season 3, Episode 7 of From. I have got to talk about all these events that have transpired. We've got a mystery that's getting bigger, and just things are getting nuts. But first, thank you all for every time I drop a video. You guys are leaving your comments, sharing your theories, giving me your reactions. I love reading every single one of them, so thank you for that. Shout out to you guys for buying a lot of the shirts and the merch. Of course, you guys know I got you covered. All the links are in the description down below, and a huge thank you to those of you that continue to hit that thank you button to support this channel financially. I cannot express my thanks enough. Shout out to Ray Breeze, Wellman Farms, JR, Jenna, and every one of you that have been doing it. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. By the way, guys, you guys know I always got you covered. Please be sure to watch all the way to the very end. I got some juicy things to tell you about, and I got a little something special for you to see as well. So please make sure you watch all the way to the very end. I don't want you to miss it. Once again, by the way, make sure that you are subscribed and that you hit the notifications and hit that bell, because I don't want you guys to miss future stuff as well. All right, let's get this thing going. Previously on From. Victor and Henry managed to find Jasper in the tunnels, but that's not before the Karen monster filed a complaint to the manager.
One of these days, we'll make you stay.
Elgin continued to take creepy photos while the kimono lady's hot breath was still on his neck. Tabitha remembered a scary dream from when she was a little girl that just so happened to match what's actually in the town. Fatima got some bad news that she is not the mama and isn't actually pregnant.
We need to tell them.
All right, let's get right into this episode. Spoiler alert. The following will contain spoilers for Season 3 of From. Fatima can't believe the news from the ultrasound that she isn't pregnant. Christy believes that this could be a rare condition where a woman's body believes that it's pregnant when it really isn't. Fatima insists that she is still pregnant despite the test. She gets up and leaves. Christy can't figure out whether Fatima is delusional or actually pregnant with something that maybe they just can't see. Boyd told her to do her damn job and figure it out. Well, here we go. Is Fatima actually pregnant, or is this all just in her head? I mean, we know this place is going to play mind games on people. We know that this place can make you believe something could be happening to your body in different ways. Think back to when Sarah's arm had the warning talking about killing the boy. She felt that as if it was real pain, but then she was perfectly fine. Or think back about Kenny when he was hearing the music box and he was having the dream about the cicadas, but he woke up to find out that it actually did leave a real burn on his arm. So at this point, it's really hard to figure out whether this is all in her head, or I don't know if Fatima is actually pregnant, because anything could be the case when we're dealing with this weird Fromville place. Now, Christy was talking about the cravings, but what's interesting about that is, was she only talking about eating trash or the blood? Now, I'm thinking that it was just about the trash, because I'm guessing that there might have been a little bit more trepidation, a little more fear, and maybe more worry if she found out that, I don't know, Fatima was a whole vampire. Now, I thought it was kind of funny when Marielle was trying to give Fatima some comforting words and, make her feel better and everything. But in order to do that, she had to bring up Boyd and his worms. If you look at Harold's face, my man was like, "Why I gotta catch a stray? What do my worms got to do with all this?" Back at Colony House, Victor is playing bad cop, trying to get Jasper to talk. Henry comes in and reminds Victor that he's been yelling at a doll, but Victor doesn't want to hear none of that and leaves. Downstairs, Elgin shows off his janky gift for Fatima until suddenly his Polaroid camera takes a picture. Marielle comes over to start an IV for Fatima. She gives her some comforting words, but Fatima tells her that whatever is inside of her is the one that's actually ordering the garbage sandwiches from Uber Eats. Ellis comes in and Fatima pleads with him to just believe her that she is actually pregnant. She says that her cravings are getting stronger as well. So I really like this conversation with Marielle because I think we got an answer about what has been going on with her all this time. Now, recall in the last episode, Randall was saying that Marielle was pretending as though she was okay and everything was fine and almost like nothing had ever happened to her, with the cicada monster. Well, now we know that Marielle does feel the bugs, and I don't know, maybe she actually still sees them like Randall does. The difference here, though, is that she keeps reminding herself that it's not real and that fear will only break you if you let it. First of all, shout out to positive affirmations. Please, I cannot stress this enough. Make sure y'all do the same whenever you're feeling down or if you're having a bad day. Call out whatever that thing is that's holding you back, that's challenging you, and tell yourself that whatever it is, it will only break you if you let it.
You don't break me!
So good on Marielle for doing that and holding it all together. Anyway, it's nice to know that Marielle is at least taking care of herself as best as she can. I mean, Randall clearly is allowing this fear to overtake his mind so much that he even let the monsters capture him, and Julie would rather sneak out and go puff puff past that good ganja. Now, as for Fatima, I think it's pretty interesting that we're getting some foreshadowing here that probably is going to be important later on. She said that this, whatever's inside of her, it's making her eat the garbage. So this may be more than just some simple cravings. Whatever is inside of her or whatever is manipulating her mind, it's starting to have a stronger hold on her. And by the way, I noticed that the book on her nightstand was the novel called Fall on Your Knees by Anne Marie McDonald. If any of you guys have any theories or any ideas about why that might be significant, feel free to let me know in the comments. Boyd and Donna talk about Fatima's ultrasound results and the weirdness of her situation. She proposes that they find a way to help Fatima. Boyd says that they should keep this information between themselves. However, Donna says that at some point, Fatima and Ellis should probably move out of Colony House. Jim is helping the others collect food around the cabins until he sees Jade, Tabitha, and Ethan. They inform him that Tabitha saw this place in a dream. Julie runs into Randall outside the clinic. He tries to go for a walk, but she decides to tag along when no one asked her to do so. So first off, let me just say that I really do appreciate this relationship between Boyd and Donna. I love their friendship, and no, I don't think there's anything extra going down between them romantically or anything like that. But I like how they are so cool with telling each other different secrets and stuff because they're doing it for the purpose of trying to keep everybody safe. I like that energy. Now, as for my girl Donna, y'all know I love Donna. She's fantastic. Donna is once again being probably one of the most practical and reasonable minded people in this town when it comes to all the weird stuff, right? She's not going to be silent about it. She's not going to try and pretend that these things might be something else or whatever. She's basing all of this on her own experiences and considering the options that are right in front of them, right? But Donna's instincts, I think they're right. Okay, like she understands that if there's any chance something bad is going to happen with Fatima, she's going to have to protect the other Colony House residents. And, to me, that's why she brought up what happened with Abby. Keep in mind that Donna witnessed firsthand what Boyd's wife was doing when she started shooting people. Matter of fact, if y'all really remember, Donna was one of those people that was about to become a victim of Abby. So her concern for Fatima is a matter of caring deeply for Fatima, but also trying to avoid another massacre. Now, did you notice the random town resident who mentioned to Jim that the things that were banging around outside the cabins, you know, she was saying that, oh, it doesn't sound like the monsters that come out at night.
Whatever was banging around last night sure as hell didn't sound like those things back in town.
Listen. I know some of y'all have said it. I know I've said it. I'm telling y'all, here come the giant spiders. The giant spiders are on their way. I don't know if it's going to be this season. I don't know if it's next season, but they keep teasing this. Okay, they teased it the last time at the end of the first season, dragging the whole the tent or whatever with Boyd and Sarah. Man, spiders are coming. Y'all, they better get them a big old can of Raid. And listen, shout out to those of you that also pointed out in my last video that when we saw little Tabitha having her nightmare and she looked up, you know, behind that red rock or whatever, that something was looking down on her. Yeah, that probably was also a giant spider. And you know what? I also saw you guys talking about trying to ship Julie and Randall. Listen, I'm starting to see the signs here. Okay, at first I kind of wanted to think that maybe this was just a situation of people who maybe just connected, you know, based on shared trauma or whatever. But now I'm starting to think that there might be something else. But you know what? We're going to revisit this a little bit later. Meanwhile, Elgin is investigating the cellar that also appeared on the Polaroid picture. As he opens the doors and finds nothing, an eerie set of knocks can be heard. He moves things around and finds a secret hidden room. Back in the woods, Jim casts a little doubt about Tabitha's dream and how this place could affect people. Tabitha, however, tells him that her dreams happened before they even got to town. Yo, I'm really not too sure what to make or how to feel about this secret room with Elgin. I mean, first of all, let's not forget that this was the same place that Jade saw the random guy with the boulder in the first season. You know, the one with the boulder on top of him, and then there was the blood symbol and stuff. But I got other questions. I mean, why is there what looks like a bed and a nightstand? Why is that there? Could this have been where Victor maybe was sleeping? I mean, we do know that this was also the hiding place for Victor when he was a little kid, you know, after his mom and Eloise like escaped or whatever. And, you know, Victor came out of there. So, but here, I don't know. The other weird thing is like Victor came out kind of dirty and it looked like he had been sleeping on the floor, not on a bed. So I don't know. It just begs the question, who or what was in that room before? And by the way, why the hell is Elgin just going anywhere that this camera just happens to tell him to go? I mean, a dead lady blows her hot breath on your neck and you just decide to play Pictionary? Really? Elgin, you better explain yourself real soon, bro, because it's not adding up right now. Anyway, real quick on Jim. Now, I understand that he just wants to be cautious, but I'm glad that he backed down here, right? He was right about how this town could mess people up, just like Sarah, you know, or even with him when he was getting those random collect calls on his phone or, you know, the radio person or whatever. So, but listen, your wife is clearly different, and this is definitely not the same situation as the others. Tabitha actually made it out into the real world. Plus, she's had these dreams before she even got to the town. That should be more than enough evidence that maybe, just maybe, something else is going on with her, and it might be positive. Back in town, Acosta visits the grave of the young girl she accidentally shot. She goes into the diner and immediately starts asking questions about the town. Kenny offers her some tea. He then explains how all of her questions and theories have been things that people before her have thought about as well. He told her that you either have to adapt or you're going to lose your mind. He also informs her that Boyd was the one who found the talisman, but she can't get over the fact that he confiscated her gun. Kenny tells her that it's perfectly okay to change out of that same funky uniform that she had on for 3 episodes now, but she doesn't want to get too comfortable in this town. Just then, the jukebox played some smooth jams to get her to feel a little better. Soon after, Bacta enters in and talks to Kenny about reopening the diner. First, it was my boy Kenny with the celebration song. Okay, now it's Acosta with the ooh child, things are gonna get easier. You know what? I can't with this place and in this damn jukebox. I just can't. Who set up this Spotify playlist? Who is the town DJ? Okay, where is DJ from? I swear you not gonna just keep trolling me with this music like this. Let me find out. Let me find out. We just gonna have to fight. Okay, if I was in there, we just gonna have to fight. Why is this place like this? But I gotta say, I loved what Kenny had to say to Acosta about all her theories and her questions. I mean, she is being incredibly reasonable here, and I think she's acting how probably a lot of us would also act and, question things if we were randomly thrown into this town too. But I get the sinking feeling that the showrunner, John Griffin, the writer, I think that he was using Kenny and this scene as a form of meta commentary for all of us, the audience. Okay, I think John was really trying to talk to us here, because just like Acosta, many of us have had a lot of questions or theories like, who threw the rope? Does Sarah have worms? Is Fatima really pregnant? Why is Victor his own sister? Dare I say, some of us probably have started to lose our own damn minds trying to figure things out. Oh, and by the way, it looks like Bacta is trying to, reopen up the diner. Now, remember, in the past episode, she said that she kind of found herself drawn to the diner, and all of a sudden she found herself cleaning up and stuff. I think this plays into that role theory that everyone in this town shares some sort of purpose, or a role that they have to fill. Now, hey, this is no disrespect to Tien Chen, rest in peace. But I know one thing. The food in this diner is about to go and be fire. It's about to be smacking. It's going to be finger licking good. I know Bacta got some of that Lawry's seasoning salt somewhere in a suitcase. I know she has something there because all them diner dinners are about to be more soulful and flavorful than ever before. Victor shows up at Sarah's door and asks to go into her basement so he can get Jasper to start talking. Henry comes in looking for some top shelf liquor and Donna says, "Follow me." Back in the cellar, Elgin continues to investigate that secret room. He pulls on one of the covers and reveals a dead corpse. Suddenly, the kimono lady shows up behind him and he asks her,
Is this really where it happens?
Okay, so at first I was kind of thinking that maybe this secret room, it must be a place maybe to hide away from the monsters. I mean, it makes sense to have like a bed and all that stuff in there, but seeing that dead body in there, I don't know. I think that kind of changes things. I mean, looking at the corpse, it does appear to be an older man, judging by the facial hair. It obviously has been there for a long time, especially for it to decay like that. Plus, it doesn't appear to be the case that this body was attacked by the monsters. We know that they usually go for the guts and stuff like that. So now I'm wondering, and let me put my little detective hat on for this. This man was not killed by the monsters. There doesn't appear to be any type of blood or stab wounds or anything. So I don't think he was murdered. I wonder if he was just maybe trapped in there instead. Actually, my theory is that maybe this place was more of a prison. In other words, maybe this place was like the box before the box. And the reason why I say that is because Elgin found the body covered up. So either this guy was in a room with someone else and maybe they escaped, or someone came in after the fact and had the decency to cover this body up with a cover. I don't really know, but I can't imagine whatever this kimono lady is trying to get Elgin to do could possibly be a good thing when he's being led into a secret room with a dead body inside. Now then again, this could all be some crazy head fake with a crazy twist. I don't know, but you all let me know. What do you think about this room? And what do you think about what Elgin found inside? Boyd returns to the sheriff's station to find someone has been rustling around. Acosta steps out and demands that he return her gun. Boyd said, hell no, because she shot a girl and needs to prove that she can handle the crazy stuff in this town before he can give her her gun back. She said that she was a real cop and not a Toy Story sheriff like Boyd. He tells her to get the steppin', and Acosta stepped right into his face, demanding her gun. Boyd was like, oh, word? Cool, and proceeded to give her her gun back, but without the bullets. He tells her that if she ever comes back without an invite, there's going to be consequences and repercussions.
Whatever you say, Sheriff.
Ooh-wee. Listen, the atmosphere right there was thick. Okay, look, I don't know about y'all, but when I tell you I felt all that fury from Boyd, I was hot. Ooh, I was hot. First of all, Acosta, ma'am, who in the blue hell do you think you are? Stepping into Boyd's sheriff station like that? You think you gonna come and talk to Mr. Fish and Loaves any old kind of way? Did you go out there and find them livestock in the woods? Did you go find some talisman for the rest of the town? I don't think so. All you did was come in, you killed a colony house girl, and then you also endangered Tabitha and other people's lives by handcuffing her in the ambulance. And you gonna step to this man's face like that too? Listen, Boyd is a better man than me. I'm from Chicago, okay? We got a 3 feet policy. Once you step into that radius, we are no longer liable for whatever happens to you or your face. And no, I'm just saying, I'm not advocating for no violence. And I'll leave it there. Anyway, I thought this scene was really telling for Boyd specifically. I mean, he's really developed this strong sense of responsibility over this town and the people in it. And right now, he's viewing Acosta as a potential threat because of just the way she panicked when she first got into the town. I mean, it's one thing for an average person to freak out. It's another thing for someone with a badge, who has training, who has a weapon, to then start panicking and freaking out. That's a whole nother level. So I totally understand where Boyd is coming from in being cautious with her. Now, as for Acosta, I'll give her a little credit, okay? Because I already got beef with her. I'll give her a little credit. One thing we can tell is that she does care. She doesn't seem like one of those bad apple type of cops. She does care that she shot that girl on accident. But stepping up to Boyd like that, initially it threw me off, until I thought about it a little bit more. I mean, that gun for her, it's a part of who she is, right? And if you think about it, that's why she flashed her badge at Boyd. Granted, there is no jurisdiction around these parts that matter, but for her, being a cop clearly seems to be a big part of her identity. So I kind of understand why getting that gun back, really matters to her, And look, all that is cool and all, but I'm gonna need you to chill out coming from a man Boyd like that next time. I'm just saying, just check yourself now. Don't wreck yourself. In the woods, Tabitha recounts her nightmare around the 3 red rocks. She said whatever was making people scream, she couldn't tell what it was because she would immediately wake up. Jade believes that maybe free will isn't a factor here, and maybe Tabitha was actually destined or fated to always come to this town, even back when she was a little child. So I think Tabitha added some very vital information here about her dream. She said that the thing in her nightmare was also making other people scream. I don't know about y'all, but in my house, the only thing that tends to get my little girls to scream and all that is when a big spider is somewhere. So matter of fact, isn't this exactly what Ethan was talking about way back in season 1, 2, when he was talking about, everybody was screaming and all that. But listen here, Jade could be on to something here. We know that Miranda and Tabitha, they both saw visions and dreams of this place before they actually saw the fallen tree and got stuck in the town. So the fact that it's happening with Tabitha just reconfirms the idea of a cycle happening. But I think a more interesting question is, in order for someone to be chosen, logically speaking, that means you need a chooser, right? So who is the one doing the choosing here? Is it the evil entity? Is it the boy in white? Is it the Ashia and Kui kids? Y'all let me know what you think in the comments below. Tilly comes in and offers her support to Ellis regarding Fatima. He told her that there was no baby seen on the ultrasound. She tells him that she likes a good love story and that she's willing to just help. Fatima wakes up to find her IV possibly infected. She starts feeling stomach pains and suddenly her stomach begins to contract and you see the stomach sink inside of itself. Just then Ellis runs in and those symptoms stop. Okay. So it's starting to look more like Fatima could actually be turning into a monster, maybe. I mean, we know from season 2 that the insides of the monsters, they look like they're all dried up and I don't know, maybe even pre-dead or something. But I mean, that kind of looked like what was going on with her stomach, you know, like every time we saw it contracting like that. Then again, this could be yet again, I don't know, another hallucination. I don't really know. Did this moment with Fatima's stomach, did it convince you that she's either turning into a monster? Maybe she just has some insane pregnancy going on, or is this all just in her head? What do you think? At the clinic, Ellis decides to steal some antipsychotic meds to help Fatima. However, Christy tells him that they'll only make things worse for her. Boyd convinces him to leave the drugs and the two men go talk outside. Ellis is frustrated that he just doesn't know how to help. You know, a couple of things here. Ellis is clearly doing the best he can to take care of his wife, right? Now, I don't know about stealing drugs and doping her up if that's like the best idea, but he gets an A for effort, right? Then, by the way, did y'all hear this man when his daddy called him and he was like, "What? I'm sorry. I don't care how old you get, but what you're not going to do is raise your voice and hit me with a what right back at me." That's not going to happen. Now, I know some of y'all, you know, it might not bother y'all and, you know, maybe other parents out there. Listen, I get it. Different cultures. I'm just saying there's a forever level of respect and I'm going to need my kids to adhere to that till they grown and we both die, like forever. Okay. But on a real note, I'm a sucker for these father-son moments. And kudos, by the way, to Cordion Moore, who plays Ellis in this scene. I thought he did a really solid performance. I really liked the vulnerability that he showed in this moment. You know, I actually loved what Ellis said here to Boyd because I think it's kind of revealing about his character. He talked about how Fatima was falling apart right in front of him and he doesn't know how to help. Now, this is all too familiar of a feeling for Ellis because if you recall, this is exactly what happened with his mama, Abby. So he begged his dad to go help her. And the whole time he saw his mom just deteriorating and getting worse and, you know, all of this crazy stuff until she finally snapped. So Ellis's pain here, it makes a lot of sense. His frustration, it makes sense. He's helping Fatima by doing whatever he can because when his mom was going through it, there was very little that he could do. Julie is telling Randall all about her family problems as Randall continues to actively ignore her. She reveals to him that before being trapped in the town, she was supposed to get her learner's permit with her dad. They both head over to Colony House and take the van for a joyride. As they drive, Randall starts seeing the cicadas all over. He jumps out of the vehicle feeling overwhelmed by them. As she goes looking for him, she also comes upon the ruins that Boyd escaped when he was dealing with the cicada monster. She started to feel a sensation and started to draw herself closer, but Randall quickly stopped her. They turn back and leave. Okay, listen, maybe this is just me, okay? And maybe it's just because I'm a girl dad. But this whole Julie Randall thing, I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, wait a minute. How old is Julie? Julie, what, 16, 17? How old is Randall? All of y'all that be like, oh, that's so cute. How old is Randall? Okay, you know, like why she gotta fall for the bad boy? You know, of all the people you gotta fall for Joker face, and where the hell is Jim? Listen, my 17-year-old daughter ain't gonna be just walking around anywhere talking to anybody. Okay, never mind. Sorry, different parents, different style. Anyway, I think it's pretty interesting that Randall and Julie had gone through the whole cicada situation. And we heard from Marielle that she also can feel the bugs from time to time and all that. But while Randall is going through the whole bug episode, Julie can't see them. Now I've seen some people in my comments sitting here saying that, or they would question whether Julie and Randall and Marielle, have they been possessed? Are they possessed by the, cicada monster or not? Now, I don't think that is the case. I think this place can drive people insane, but possession usually means that an entity fully takes over someone's body and their mind. I don't think we have enough evidence here to prove possession, but I do think that these three characters, they've been marked in a way. It's kind of like their interaction with the cicada monster has left them spiritually scarred in a way. And I believe that that's probably one of the reasons why Julie started talking about a feeling near the ruins. Just imagine if you have this scar, every time you get close to this, this place or this entity, that wound is going to start, feeling in some way. It's going to get triggered. So I think that's what's going on with Julie right now. Now, as for Randall, he clearly also felt that feeling too. Now, here's the thing. He is afraid. Okay, he's deathly afraid. I recall a bunch of people online saying how Randall, he didn't show fear when he was on the bus and the monsters were all around him and all that. Yeah, to me, I never bought that. This man was scared. Okay, he was scared for his whole life. He was always afraid, but Randall knows how to put on a strong demeanor, a facade to act like he's not scared. It's the same thing that's happening right here in this moment too. He felt whatever it was Julie was feeling when they got close to those ruins. And recall, some people are more in tune with this place than others. So when Sarah, for example, when she came in close proximity to that same place back in the season 2 finale, she was having nosebleeds and sensed all kinds of bad mojo and was having headaches and all of that stuff. So this is yet again, I think, a weird spiritual or metaphysical hotspot where Julie and Randall and maybe even Marielle, they all are still connected to that. Now, I don't think anything good could come from this, especially from messing around with a place where a whole evil entity was like present. So I'm with Randall on this one. Julie needs to chill out acting like she wants to go investigate this feeling or whatever. Listen, don't end up like Dale. Back in the town, Fatima seems to be having another craving for fresh garden trash salad. She rejects the temptation, but her body starts to react in a negative way. Just then, Tilly runs in to help her. Fatima tries to push her away and have her leave, and suddenly she shanks Tilly in the chest. Ellis comes running in. With her final breath, Tilly says to Fatima to run. She dead. Yo. R.I.P. Tilly. Dang. I feel kind of bad now, because all Tilly wanted to do this whole time, she just wanted to help, right? She's always been kind of helpful. Remember, she donated her medicine and stuff, and she's always there. She was praying with folks, and she was, but she was actually kind of super suspect too. Ever since she came into the town, let's not forget, she was always in everybody's business, always showing up at convenient times, busting out tarot cards and all that. But man, well, I guess all those theories about her being a traitor or a witch, those are all out the window now. And kudos on the writing for sending us clean off with that one. But as for Fatima, oh damn, Fatima, you out here shanking folks? You stabbies McStab now? You a whole murderer, ma'am. Woo! Whatever is going on with her has got to be getting worse to make her resort to doing something like this. I mean, there's no way that she was just so frustrated that she would pick up some shears and start killing folks like that. No, that's not going to happen. Maybe she is actually turning into a monster, because that sudden impulse to just, kill someone like that, it feels a little reminiscent of the monsters, how they will quickly kill people. Almost kind of reminded me of the Father Khatri moment where, he got sliced up by the monster. But to make matters worse, Ellis has seen this too. So what is he gonna do? Is he gonna stand by his wife? Is he gonna turn her in? My question is, how is he not terrified of her? I mean, listen, if we think about what this place did to Abby, this place is so evil that it had a mother willing to kill her own son. I would be terrified if I was this man. Okay. Listen, I'd be like, hey, babe. Hey, babe. Well, what you got there? Oh, a fresh dead body. Oh, okay. Hey, listen. Hey, you know what? My finger's getting a little tired. Why don't you, hold on to this wedding ring just for a little bit, Oh, is that my daddy? Is that my daddy, the sheriff, calling me? I'll be right back. Okay. I'm be right back. I would not be right back. Okay. I would not be right back. Okay. I don't know how this man is doing this. I would be scared if my wife was eating garbage, drinking blood, and killing folks. Instant divorce, bro. Instant divorce. Yeah, but I don't know. This is all kinds of jacked up right now, because what are y'all gonna do with Tilly's body? It's broad daylight, so you can't blame the monsters unless they do some weird mutilation of her body to put it on the monsters. But I can't see them actually doing that. Again, not in the daytime like that. Witnesses could be around. Geez, I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see where this episode goes from here and what they'll do. But you guys let me know. What do you think Fatima or Ellis will do in the next episode? What do you think this fallout will be? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this episode. Now's the time for me to give you my review. So I think this episode was kind of mild, despite a couple of bright spots here and there. I love the Boyd and Acosta interactions. The Elgin stuff seemed, more like setup for, but of course, in true From fashion, it's only begging even more questions. I don't think we got that much development in the characters, but a couple of good performances here and there. So I don't know. When it comes to the rating, I think I'm going to give this episode a 6 out of 10. The ending with Fatima, it helped a little, but I'd be lying if I said that this was one of the better episodes compared to what we've gotten already. But hey, that's just my opinion. Does not have to be yours. Maybe y'all enjoyed it more than I did, and that is perfectly fine. So please let me know, what did you think about this episode, and what rating would you give it on a scale from 0 to 10? Leave that in the comments for me. Now, as promised, I have something very important to tell you guys, and it's something very special as well. First off, while this episode was not one of my favorites, I have it on extremely good authority to say that the next 3 episodes of From are going to blow everyone away. That's right. Major answers are coming. Doesn't mean that we're going to solve everything, but some of the same big questions a whole lot of y'all have been asking for years will finally be answered in the next few episodes. So, if you are one of those people who's thinking about quitting this show because it hasn't delivered enough answers for you, I'm telling you right now, this will be the absolute worst time to quit. Do not quit. Hang on, okay, for what's coming up next. I cannot go into more details, but I'm telling y'all, it's going to be a doozy from what I've heard. Lastly, y'all know I appreciate you guys for watching the videos all the way to the end. So I got to give you a little something in return. After watching this episode, I was not a fan of Officer Acosta at all. Okay, so I said I need to file a complaint with her department because I want to give her a piece of my mind. So just for all of you, here's a sneak peek of my interview with Officer Acosta herself. Please enjoy, and I'll see you all next time. Hey. Ma'am, I got some beef. I got some problems with Acosta. How you going? First of all, how dare you? How dare you come on to this scene and you gonna start beef with the lead, the head, the main man, Boyd Stevens? So okay. You guys had an intense scene in the sheriff's station, and so you helped me out. Why do you think Acosta was so mad about Boyd taking her gun, given all the stuff that she's already done?
So I think rewinding to episode 5, you see Acosta go in and offers Boyd help. And I love that scene because you see a mix of remorse. She feels bad. She feels guilty for what she did, but she wants to keep it moving. She wants to help and she wants to be of service, which is what she's given her life to do as a police officer. He wasn't having it. She, obviously we can see that Boyd has been through a lot. Acosta doesn't know that. I don't even think Acosta knows what happened with Randall and the choice that Boyd has to make. So from her perspective, she's just like, every time I see this guy, has a problem with me. So she tried to, kind of help him and team up with him. He said no. So she said, okay, that's fine. I'm going to pivot. I'm going to try a different way. And now we see in episode 7 when she goes in and sort of confronts him. I think for her, I understand that we're in this world and you're the leader of this town, but I am a police officer and you took something that is mine. And I think when you look at what are 2 things that a police officer needs to do their job? 1, a weapon, because they are putting themselves on the front lines. They are in dangerous situations. They need a weapon to protect themselves and to protect others. And 2, you need information. She doesn't have either of those things because no one in the town likes her. She doesn't have a proxy guiding her through this process. So she has no information and now she has no weapon. There is no way she can survive in this town if she doesn't have either of those things. So you see in episode 7, she goes and gets both of those. She goes and talks to Kenny and she tries to get as much information as possible. And then she goes right into the sheriff's station and tries to get her gun back. So she's taking what's hers. Right? You like that? Or what do you think?
First, I had beef with Acosta. Now I got beef with you because you over here changing my mind and I don't like it. Because that made perfect sense. If you're new here and you like what you see, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss out the next time I drop a video. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.